list, which you should be, the actual energy code, you know, the ICC has adopted the Architecture 2030 goals. So the actual energy code is driving to zero energy by 2030. So if you're the best LEED Platinum building in DC right now, from an energy perspective, is obsolete in 2030. So I really want, you know, folks to start thinking about that, start talking to their owner clients and developer clients. You know, at some point that's going to become a harsh reality. In particular, like, you know, 2025. You know, if the development cycle is 4 years, and you just built a building in 2025, and in 2030, the next building is going to be zero energy, you've built an obsolete building. And it's, you know, there's just a ton of risk there, and I you know, hope that people would think about that. And this just in this section is submetering requirements for non-residential projects, 50,000 square feet. Again, we set that 50,000 square foot threshold first cycle of the code. Didn't want to shock the marketplace, but there are requirements for submetering for non-residential projects. You know, you can't save what you can't measure, is the theory behind that. Yes?
This is for the electricity meter, not water meter?
There actually is, I'll get to the water section too, but there are some submetering requirements for water too. Now, the submetering piece has some stipulations to it. You know, it's basically where there's a full electrical system replacement, you know, where it makes sense, you know, and would not be, you know, cost prohibitive to add the submeters. I don't have a slide in here on Appendix A, but Appendix A is a LEED-like section of the Green Construction Code. So basically what it is each of those categories, you know, air quality, indoor air quality, energy, water, sites, materials, there are additional, basically project electives that you can pull from. It's about 75 in total between all the different sections. And for new construction projects and for major renovations, which are defined as level 3 alterations according to the existing building code. For those types of projects, on new construction side, you have to do 15 of those project electives, and on the substantial improvement or the major renovation side, you have to do 13. And you can pull from any of those 75 to do it, so it's allowed to, you know, we're trying to push those new construction and major renovation projects to a little bit of a higher green level than just the basic code. But there's a lot of flexibility in there because, like I said, you can pick, you know, you can go down the path of 15 out of 75. First one is to do green appraisal work. So this is educating the appraisal community and the banking community about the value of green buildings and getting them to start including that increased value, which we know is a fact through 10 different, you know, peer-reviewed research studies, to get them to start including that value into appraisal work so we can start driving to deeper green buildings. And I'm sure you all know about the increased value, and there probably are times on projects where the banks just won't fund additional things. And so this work is really to try to get to that level and really start driving the appraisal community and the banking community to deeper green. It's part of the new stormwater regulations called the Stormwater Retention Credit Trading Program. And that's basically like carbon trading, which people are more familiar with, like what they're doing in California, but for stormwater. And so certain projects, if they are either over-designing for the amount of stormwater they have to do for the actual regulations, or, for example, and this is a good thing to tell your clients, anybody who has existing green infrastructure that is above what the requirement was at the time, or what they had to meet in terms of the regulatory requirements, they're allowed to produce what are called stormwater retention credits and sell those on the marketplace. And so the idea behind that is to create a marketplace for green infrastructure work that's above what the basic level requirements are,